Today I'll be talking about the Telugu movie SitaRamam. I am so glad I watched it in the theater. It's romantic and cinematic. This movie is totally the magic of cinema that I yearn for. The film is written and directed by Hanu Raghavapudi. The music by Vishal Chandrasekhar is hauntingly beautiful and the soul of the film. The visuals by P.S. Vinod and Shriya Krishna are like a painting and poetry in motion. When I watched the teaser for the first time, I knew I wanted to watch the movie. I like the way the film is structured. Characters reveal only a portion of Ram and Sita's story that they know of. It's intriguing enough to keep me on the hook for more. The film opens with a bird's-eye view of a deserted land and the text appears 1964. Rasul saves his sister Wida from falling into a well. This scene has a very Bashranjabhajan vibe. Rasul is assigned a mission by Ansari. It's called Operation Gibraltar. Rasul clicks a group picture of Ansari, his gang members and his sister Wida. This photograph is an extension of Ansari's plan. Rasul is not in this picture and this detail is important. 20 years later, Abu Tariq, played by Sachin Karl, has left his granddaughter Afreem, played by Rashmika Mandana, a letter and a shoulder mark to deliver to Sita Mahalakshmi. The letter is from Ram of Madras Regiment in 1964, played by Dulquer Salman. I like that the movie takes its time to establish the other characters before they get to the main protagonists. April has this burning rage and hatred inside of her. You wonder why that is. She even claims I would rather say sorry to my grandfather than to an Indian. Remember this detail because it's very important you take on this journey with her. You are waiting with bated breath to learn what is Ram's story and what the contents of the letter are. Vikas, Ram's friend from the army, reveals the first big portion of the story. Ram is introduced. It's the year 1964. He is posted at the Srinagar base of the Madras Regiment. He is your quintessential hero and exemplary character. Cautious and thinks before taking any action. You are instantly enamored by his goodness. My first thought for Ram was he needs to be protected at all and any costs. Because he is the epitome of goodness in this big bad world. In my understanding of the character, Ram's strength is in his kindness and humility. When reporter Vijaya Lakshmi from All India Radio inquires if Ram would want to record any message for his family, we learn that Ram is an orphan. Later you understand the choices he makes. During the course of the film, Vijaya Lakshmi urges her listeners to write to Ram. It seems a bit implausible, but given the era, I am certain that could have been a possibility. I'd let my suspension of disbelief take over. Ram receives a bag of letters. He doesn't even see Sita's letter until the next bag of letters arrive. At first, when you learn what all Sita has written in the letter and how she's addressing herself as his wife, the first thought that ran through my head was, to what degree is this woman cray? Cray? Answer 0 degree, because she is cautious as well and she's not written a return address on the envelope. I understand that someone like Ram, who sees the good in others and who is an orphan, is overwhelmed by the love pouring in from across the country. In the letter song, Dulquer in a yellow sweater amidst the snow invokes the imagery of Rishi Kapoor and sweaters in the snow. For me, like the title track of Chandni, Rishi Kapoor was the romantic hero of the Hindi films. In 70s, 80s and 90s, as Ram walks in the snow, he reads Sita's letter. Sita complains how Ram's absence has made the flowers start blooming and as a result the butterflies have stopped visiting. At that very moment the letter flies away from Ram's hands and lands on a rock surrounded by yellow flowers amidst the snow. Ram picks one of the flowers for safekeeping because in a way she has requested him to get her flowers and butterflies. If this isn't poetic, I don't know what is. In one of the letters, Sita describes a dream where Ram is calling out to her, but when she wakes up he's not there and she's all alone. Remember this detail. I'll explain its significance later. From the contents of Seth's letter, Ram deduces that she is traveling on a train from Delhi to Hyderabad. On 12th of the month, Ram takes a leave to find Sita and meet his surrogate family across the country. On the train, when Ram is searching for Sita, I knew they would pass the tunnel when he reaches her coupe. Because Lava's introduction must be dramatic, Sita instantly recognizes Ram as he recites the contents of her letter. Sita is played by Ronald Tucker. I can't imagine anyone else portraying this character to perfection. She's incredible and an absolute delight to watch. Ram respects Sita's face, so he hands over the replies to her letters and the yellow flower he took from the snow. Sita reads Ram's replies to her letters, where he's mentioned his friend Dulquer's address and phone number. And his landline number. Love stories are all about moments and unraveling the mystery about your significant other. This movie has plenty of both meet cute and follow up on those moments, leading to a love so pure that you want the two lovers to be together for all eternity. The moments between Ram and Sita are so heartwarming. I don't know what and how descriptively they would have written that on paper, but it's captivating on screen. It was an extremely immersive experience. Unfortunately, Rama's landline has not been working for days. Ram is mighty pissed, and rightly so. The song Antefantillano from the movie Dave Doss plays on the radio, mocking Doja situation. The lyrics mean everything is a delusion in life. Sita pays a visit to Ram. When Ram learns about Sita's visit, he slides into the scene like Tom Cruise from Risky Business. Ram wants to take a photograph of Sita because during their previous meeting the TT had asked if he had a picture of the girl. Ram apologizes for clicking Sita's photograph without her consent. He later clicks a photograph of her along with his mirror reflection. I just love this shot. This shot in a way surmises their love story, and the photograph comes in handy later when Sita wants to take his leave. She tells him she's getting late for her dance class. Ram starts interacting with her like he's writing her a letter. But it's all in person. Afraid now visits Ram's friend Turkey Sharma. Turkey Sharma reveals the next portion of the story. Turkey Sharma is played by Vanessa Kishore Old-Dur. Jay Sharma is looking in a hand mirror, clearing grace from his mustache. The shot transitions to a young Durga Sharma who lowers the hand mirror and can be seen shaving. I love this going back in time transition. Ram is sitting beside Durga reading a newspaper. Ram spots the Austin Magic Show ad in the newspaper that Sita had mentioned once in her letter. Ram decides to go find Sita again. When Austin the magician calls one of the ladies in the audience on stage to volunteer, he asks her name. Ram quips that her name is Sita Mahalakshmi. It's a brilliant screenplay move. Ram meets Sita's friend Rekha and interacts with her about the letters. Austin the magician requests Sita to offer the flower that she's sporting in her hair. The magician performs his trick. He requests one of the guys in the audience to join him on stage. Ram pushes the other guys away so that he can be a part of the magic show. With Sita on stage, the magician requests Ram to remove the cloth. The flower has been transmutated to multiple beautiful butterflies. Ram says he brought the butterflies just like she requested in the contents of a letter. Sita is surprised that Ram was able to figure out her address. Him against visiting. Ram and Sita start afresh. They start interacting like they're writing letters to each other, but in person. When Ram and Sita go out on their first date, the song In Tandem plays in the background. The entire song is filled with lovely moments between Ram and Sita. Ram catches the hands of the kids who are pulling Sita away from him. The kids start to point their fingers at him. Ram makes a cute face teasing the kids. Even Sita joins the kids and points her finger at Ram accusingly. Ram apologizes, holding both his ears. When Ram and Sita roam around the city, two passers-by comment about the changing times they are witnessing. Sita overhears and holds Ram's hand for the first time. She asks those two men if their world stopped. My reaction was Ram's world has definitely come to a standstill. When she checks with Ram if his world stopped, he's still looking at her hand, holding his hand. Sita makes Ram chin up and repeats her question. He just replies, nodding no, but we all know he's blatantly lying. The song in tandem resumes. Ram walks behind Sita. Ram pretends shoot like an archer, pretend ties the Mongol sutra and poses like Ram. The lyrics say, "Do you want me to tie the bow like Ram in the Ramayana?" I love this moment. During one of their dates, Ram and Sita get drenched in the rain. They go to a nearby house to seek shelter. The old lady of the house remarks that they shouldn't be so formal with each other if they're about to get married. Ram jokingly says to Sita. Sita turns to look at him angrily. She raises her eyebrows, questioning his casualness. Ram just smiles and shrugs his shoulders like it's nothing. It's not nothing. It's very cute. When the old lady's granddaughter asks how Ram and Sita met, Sita discloses the story of their meeting in Kashmir when Ram rescued her from the angry mob. That is when it dawns upon Ram how he forgot about the girl he saved, who he also addressed to as his wife. He never got a good look at Sita's face, because half her face was covered with a shawl. Ram now understands what Sita was trying to say when she said only you can solve this riddle about Kurukshetra Raven and Sita Swayambar. Later, Ram steals the magic show glass jar filled with butterflies to propose to Sita. Dulquer is not particularly thrilled about the sneaking into the palace plan. He wants Ram to leave him out of his plan. The song Nandu Wadali from the movie Manikiman's Villa plays on the radio. The audio devices in his house are mocking his situation again. The song lyrics mean you can't leave me and go away. Ram reaches the palace. As Ram is about to enter the palace, Sita is dancing to a song whose lyrics literally welcome. While Sita waits in Mithila, Ram proposes. Sita wants to say yes, but is hesitant. She runs away, steps over a plate filled with red and blue dry colors, and the colors spill all over her. Balaji is mighty upset because Sita refused Ram's proposal and ran away. Dulquer Sharma helps Afrin and Balaji with Sita's photograph. It's the same mirror reflection photograph of Raman. Sita Afrin revisits Nurjahan's palace to check with Subramania. She bumps into someone. The photograph falls on the floor. When she turns back and bends to pick up the photograph, the camera shifts focus from Sita's photograph in Afrin's hand to this huge portrait of Noor Jahan in the palace. This is the interval drop. There are clues throughout the first half of the film before the big reveal happens. At the interval, Sita writes her letters on handmade papers. Sita travels in the most expensive compartment of the train. She likes to watch magic shows. She has a Japanese-style umbrella. She has an impeccable dressing style. She even owns a handy movie camera. Back in 1964, post-interval Sita's photograph transitions to Sita in the palace. Ram's words of proposal are still echoing in Sita's subconscious. Ram is disappointed because Sita refused his proposal. But he's not heartbroken. Ram speaks to Dulquer over the phone. Dulquer makes Ram realize that a girl would just not consent to marriage to a stranger unless she knows more about him. Ram knows what to do. He hangs up the phone and does a cute celebratory dance. It's cute AF. The next portion of the story is narrated by Sita's friend Rekha Bhadvaj. Ram arrives at the palace demanding to see Sita, but the staff members don't let him in. Sita and Rekha hear the commotion outside and request their staff members to let Ram in. Ram explains his financial standing, revealing he earns well. He promises to keep her like a queen. Ram even compares Sita's beauty to Savitri in the movie Misama. Ram and Sita accidentally step on wet red and blue paint. They work together on the white sheets spread across the floor and leave footprints behind. When Sita tries to walk away, she loses her balance. Ram catches Sita from falling in a nice romantic pose. He tells her he's going to meet his surrogate family for the next 4 days. After that, he'll return to Kashmir. He wants her to join him on his journey. Ram sits dejected and sad in the train thinking Sita is not going to show up. Sita joins Ram on his journey. Their heads accidentally bump into each other. Ram says they need to bump their heads again. The song O Sita begins in the background. I love all the songs from this album, but this song in particular is my favorite. Twos augments the love moments between Ram and Sita. I want to specifically mention SPB Chiran for his melodious voice and reminding me of SP Subramaniam. He was one of my favorite singers. Ram extends his support to see Sita while crossing a narrow water canal over a tree branch. Sita gestures that she can manage. Ram stumbles a little, but Sita falls in the narrow water canal. Ram laughs. We can now see Sita sporting Ram's clothes at one of the houses of Ram's surrogate family. Sita changes into a sari. When she steps out, Ram looks at her with this expression that says, "How did I get to be so lucky?" At Rajamundry, Ram and Sita help one of Ram's surrogate family with farming. When the journalist following Sita from the train tries to click her photograph, she covers her face. I thought that was really nice because the journalist was not successful in clicking her photograph. Ram and Sita float away on a coracle enjoying some sugarcane stalks. Sita tries to peel off the sugarcane stalk skin, but she applies so much force that it falls into the river. Sita snatches away the sugarcane stalk that Ram is having. Sita and Ram watch Padal Barwi starring NTA from a projector. The men and the women are seated separately with a cloth separation in between. Ram is ecstatic, clapping and whistling. Ram is me watching my favorite movie in the theater. Sita is overwhelmed by emotion and rests her head on Ram's shoulder. It's so cute. Even I want to rest my head on those brawny shoulders. Ram rescues Radhika, her daughter, and her other friends. He helps them setting up a new life. Sita takes up Radhika and her daughter's responsibility. After a brief period of separation, Ram and Sita meet again. They break into a song titled Kanuna Kalyanam. This song has some lovely moments too. I think I have been to that wooden bridge of Srinagar where the song is short. Ram and Sita attend the wedding and Sita whispers in Ram's ears, Kabul, which is a version of I Do. One of my favorite moments from this song is when Ram is giving Sita a tour of the army base. She embraces Ram's sweater and closes her eyes. When she opens her eyes, she spots Ram looking at her. She embraces him and the camera tracks back. I love this shot. It's such a sweet, innocent moment. Afreen learns that Sita is in Kashmir. She takes a flight with Balaji at the Shinjar airport. Afreen is detained by the army. Balaji is separated from her and now possesses the letter and Ram's shoulder mark. From this point forward, Vishnu Sharman arranged the events of Ram's story. Vishnu Sharma was Ram's senior in the army. Vishnu reveals the incident when Rasool attacks Vishnu and his family over lunch. Vaidehai Sharma is played by Bohemian. Once her photograph can be seen in the previous scene when Vishnu is packing his things to leave. Remember, Rasool was the only person who was not a part of Ansari's group photograph. When his other gang members were caught and shot, he was the only surviving member because he was not in the photograph. There's a bit of foreshadowing when Ram says Vaida will one day come to India and would be in trouble. Ram and Vishnu capture Rasool. They convince Rasool to cooperate on the promise that Ram will take care of Vaida. Ram and Sita speak in unison when they are about to confess their secrets to each other. Ram's secret is that he's going on a dangerous mission. Sita holds on to her secret. I love the moment when Ram explains how he might be tortured. He slips into the bathtub filled with water. The water spills out and spreads across the floor. It's such a beautiful shot. Round 1. Sita to move on if something happens to him. She holds his collar and pulls him closer. Both of them sigh heavily. Drum slips into the bathtub again along with Sita as she hugs him. This underwater shot in the bathtub is chef's kiss. I never use this phrase, but that's the best phrase to compliment this shot. Sita holds onto Ram's shoulder mark so strong that it comes off. The song of a plays in the background as the lovers bid adieu. The shoulder mark is left behind floating in the bathtub. Sita runs behind Ram to hand it back over. She makes him promise that he would get back before the shoulder mark dries. During the mission to kill Ansari, Ansari's men figured that these people are from the Indian army. In their scuffle, a tree catches fire and that fire spreads to the entire base. Abu Tariq spots that fire from his military base. He and his troops rush to check the situation out. Ram hears Vida crying and rushes back into the fire to rescue her. Why? Because he is an orphan. He understands what it's like to be abandoned, and he made a promise. Ram and Vishnu are captured and kept in prison for 8 months, though Vishnu gets to come back home after a barter deal is struck between the two countries. When Sita is distressed and running elder-skelter to obtain information on Ram, she spots the same blue butterflies from the magic show. Ram in his prison cell hallucinates about the same blue butterflies. He is also spotted reading a newspaper clipping dated December 16, 964. Vishnu reprimands Afraid for saying she has no connection with Ram. He read the rates that Ram was captured because he saved a little girl, which is you. Wida Afreen is shocked beyond her wits. I had successfully guessed this reveal and the big reveal at the interval. But it didn't hamper my viewing experience in any way. Balaji successfully delivers Ram's letter and his shoulder mark to Sita. The last portion of Ram's story is from Ram's letter to Sita, bringing a full circle to how their love story began in the first place. In the letter, Ram apologizes to Sita for making her wait all this time while he was in prison for 8 months. He is not even unsure when this letter would reach her. He reveals the truth about his captivity. Ram requests Abu Tariq to deliver his letter to Sita. Mahalakshmi Wida snatches away the letter from Ram. Ram is happy to see Wida thriving. To answer Afrin's question from the beginning of the movie, she is indebted both to Ram and her grandfather. Ram narrates the last bits of the letter. Seated in the bathroom beside Sita, he learns about Noor Jahan from a newspaper clipping dated December 16, 1964. He sends her the same newspaper clipping along with the letter. Avery apologizes to Sita upon learning the truth. Remember, she said she would never apologize to an Indian, but she has grown and matured over the course of this journey. Dulquer Salman is cute and charming and embodies Ram perfectly on screen. I smiled every time he appeared on screen and I couldn't take my eyes off him, though he even made me cry in a lot of scenes. I was crying inconsolably in those scenes. Ronald was incredible as Sita. I loved her performance. It was truly extraordinary. Kudos to the director for creating such magic and romance on screen. I wish I could watch this poetry in motion all day, every day. I can at least listen to the music that augments this love story so beautifully. This movie is meant for a theatrical experience only. I can't think of watching it elsewhere. I don't understand the Telugu language, but art has no language. The emotions and feelings transcend through the subtitles helped though. And my friend who was supposed to co-host this with me helped me with Telugu movie research. What an absolutely incredible work of art. It is easily one of my all-time favorite films. Ram is a great character who understands boundaries and consent and respects his significant other. It's a love story for the ages. After watching this movie, my heart is filled with love.